show the next slide. This is just their logo and website. SMG is a firm that specializes in social media and marketing, and we basically just called them up and said, you know, we want some advice. We were very fortunate because SMG immediately said, well, you know what, we want to help you with this, and we're going to do it for free. So they were willing to craft a campaign for us, a social media campaign. And this is something, you know, despite the fact that organizations like Greenpeace and the David Suzuki Foundation are big organizations, with the focus on climate change in Copenhagen coming up, we really didn't have the capacity to do this on our own. So SMG's strategy was basically to use a familiar Canadian symbol, the quarter. Faisal's already mentioned that we have the caribou on the back of the quarter. And the idea was to use this symbol to reach out to new audiences and to really get people interested in the caribou in a new way. So if we could see the next slide. So our basic premise was the quarter is the way in. You know, everybody knows the quarter. Everyone has one in their pocket. This is the way that we're going to message this. Most people actually, I mean, I'm curious, how many people in the room knew that it was a caribou on the back of the quarter? Okay, so some of you did. I bet most people thought it was a moose, right? Yeah, everyone thinks it's a moose. It's actually a caribou. So SMG basically predicted that once people began to associate such a familiar image with caribou, that they would be more likely to be concerned with the fate of the species. You know, this is something they know. It's a part of Canadian identity and heritage. So this is how we came up with the logo, which, if we could see the next slide, is basically the quarter without the caribou. And we hoped that using this logo would actually make people realizing that losing the caribou does mean something to them, and it's something that even if they didn't realize, that they do actually care about it. So basically what SMG did for us was initiated some online buzz through posts on Twitter in coordination with the launch of a Facebook page. And so they did, and this is where it got a little bit controversial, they basically decided that the best way to get people interested was to create a ruse, to basically tell people that caribou were coming off the quarter, and to use that to generate interest. So the idea was they started posting on Twitter, directed people to the Facebook page where you find out, actually no, the caribou's not coming off the quarter, but they are being wiped out of our forests. So, you know, take action. Through the Facebook page, people were able to send in a letter to Premier McGuinty asking him to protect caribou. So we hoped that this would generate attention and would get sort of beyond that traditional conservation community. And sure enough, it did. Actually, the idea was that we were going to do this messaging on Twitter for about a week to just, you know, get the word out, get some buzz going. We were only able to do that for a day because people got really upset. In fact, a reporter from CBC caught wind of it, called the Mint, asked them if they were taking the caribou off the quarter, and then called us up and said, you're spreading misinformation. And so, I mean, it did actually work in terms of getting people interested. There was a lot of talk, but there was also some backlash, and people felt that that was unfair because they were being tricked into supporting a campaign. All in all, though, it's been quite successful, and I think we've made a convincing argument that actually caribou being wiped out from our forests is, when you think about it, kind of a more important issue. So we hope we worked with that. I mean, a little bit of controversy can be good, so it did get the buzz going. So the campaign has been going for about a month now, and we've been able to generate more than 1,000 letters to Premier McGuinty and about 800 fans on Facebook. And so really, the only thing we've actually done to get this momentum going is tweets on Twitter and regular posts on Facebook. And then that, of course, you know, people spread the word, people read about it, spread the word to their contacts. So that's all we've done at this point. So really, it has involved very little capacity on our part. The next phase of the strategy involves reaching out to some high-profile Canadians, actors, musicians, authors, opinion leaders, and getting them to actually post on Twitter and Facebook as well to sort of get more profile. So really, I mean, a social media strategy can really only be one component of a campaign. You need all the other traditional campaign activities. You need to be lobbying government, you know, taking out ad space, doing science, doing policy work. You need all those components. But this was a way that we could kind of create a little bit of buzz in a new way. And so it's been effective so far. I mean, it's cost us nothing. I have to admit that this is largely because SMG decided to do work for us pro bono. They crafted the strategy. So now we all understand how to do it. We have the tools to do it, and we can continue it on our own. So we did have to rely on that initial donation from them. But for organizations that have staff or volunteers that are tech savvy, that know how to use social media, it actually, I mean, we were amazed. Like, we didn't have to do anything. We just posted on Twitter, posted on Facebook, and people just came. So it was really effective that way. So I would say definitely, if there are staff or volunteers in an organization that know how to do that, then it can really reach beyond your very your very specific base. So social media has been underutilized in the environmental movement. I don't know about the arts community. I would guess you guys are probably a little more up on that than we are. But we're really hopeful at this point that it'll be an efficient way to get the message out to the maximum amount of people without having to put a lot of money into it. So thanks very much, and there are some Save the Boo stickers on the table up front if people want them. Thank you.